Goals are things that come from our values, and values are what are most important to us and things that we put the most emphasis on in our life. For example, riches, religion, kindness, adventure, helping others, free time. These are all what we value, and any goals that we make in this life should be based in these values. So how do you know what your values really are? Think about if I could have anything in the world, what would that be? If I had to give up everything except for one thing or idea or ideal or moral point, what would I keep? If I think blank is of the most value, how far am I willing to get it, to go to get it, or to retain it? That also helps you know if this is your value, how much do you value it, and ask yourself, what am I willing to die for? If there's something that you're willing to die for, you know that it's of the highest value to you. So once we have our values, we can set our goals based on those values. A goal is just a standard that you're trying to achieve. You should design your goals to make your values become a reality. And many people have already seen this or know this, but goals should be small and obtainable, something that you can reach, that's realistic, something that's achievable in a specific time frame, and something you can measure your performance by based on how well you achieve those goals. So they should be measurable, obtainable, achievable in a specific time frame, and realistic for you. Super goals are also known as long-term goals, and we should all have these. A 10-year out goal. Where do we want to be in 10 years? Or even shorter than that. But maybe it's a 5-year goal. But it all depends on where you want this long-term goal to be in your life. Maybe you have a strict time frame for this long-term goal and you want to get it done in a year, but they should typically be a year or more. So break into small sub-goals. In order to achieve the long-term goal, you might have multitude of small sub-goals that you break that into. Make those sub-goals achievable, realistic, make sure they're measurable, and so important is celebrate each goal that you've accomplished. Each sub-goal along the way, celebrate obtaining that. Give yourself a little bit of time to enjoy that sub-goal that you've reached. So a lot of people talk about managing time. Time is impossible to manage, but priorities are not. So put time allotments to specific priorities, especially just like you'd budget your money, budget your time for each priority. Give your top priority the greatest allotment of time. And when you do that, everything will fall into place. Time, we all know this, sometimes when we're just working on something, 3 hours can pass by like seconds, and then when we're working on something else, 2 minutes pass by like 3 hours. So time is impossible to manage, but priorities are not. Manage your priorities and not your time. And finally, accountability partners. Okay, when you're goal setting and managing your time, something key to utilize is an accountability partner. An accountability partner is basically just someone you tell your goals to and you check in with on a regular basis to make sure you're staying accountable. They hold you accountable to obtaining that goal. So you tell them, I really want to graduate by the year, such and so, and then they'll be able to check in with you and say, hey, how close are you to graduation? And then you do the same for them. This has to be someone you really trust, someone that's positive, and someone that's not going to crush your dreams.